Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fit for Purpose podcast, where we believe that exploring health and fitness can help you lead a life of purpose. My name is Jacob, and this is my friend Brandon.
Yeah, and on today's episode, we dive into our own personal fitness journeys, how we came to be to where we're at today, and the things that maybe we would do differently if we were to start those journeys today.
Yeah, so follow along, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Spotify.
Let's go. Don't deprive yourself of like the enjoyment of life, but do it in a way where you're still like 80-90% of the time like you want to get here. Great. Eat in a way that day in and day out is going to get you there.
Okay, I really want to get stronger. I really want to make leaps and bounds in my fitness. I need to give more energy to that and say no to other things.
You feel like you've got to like sell your soul in a way to like reach more people because the things that work, like that we've just shared for an hour on this episode, they're not glamorous.
Yeah.
But they work.
So, man, we were talking a little bit about your well, you were just talking about you know, kind of stepping off of your cut because you were intentionally trying to get a little bit leaner,
deficit.
right? How long were you in a deficit for?
I went about like 65 days or so.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
And how much weight did you lose?
Actually, only lost like in total like 5 pounds, but I went from like
That's pretty healthy.
15% body fat to about 12 and a half.
Nice.
12 and a half, 13%. So it was more of like, because I didn't go super low with my calories. It was more of like body recomposition.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I wanted. Like I wanted to maintain as much lean mass as I could. So I was kind of doing, you know, what you would call like a refeed day every 7 days and trying to just restore like my glycogen and making sure I could feel my workouts and recovery. So I wasn't like really intense about it. I kind of was just like, I'm going to do this and just see where we get. So I think ultimately like I hit my overarching goal of like leaning out and getting more serious about my nutrition. But yeah.
Nice, man. So, you know, and then you were just saying you decided to step away from that because your long-term goal is to get bigger.
Yeah.
To put more muscle on.
Yeah.
Did you, earlier on in your fitness journey, did you ever cut before you think you should have?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I just, all I was taught is it's like, you cut, you bulk, right? So it's like, I think I've always been trapped in that state of like, what do I do? Like, I think for a lot of my journey in health and fitness, I was kind of in that, like, what you would call like skinny fat stage.
Yeah, me too.
And it's like, anytime I would ever cut or try to lean out, there was like not enough muscle there for me to like appreciate what was left. You know what I mean? Like I would just get so skinny and then it's like, well, this isn't
like, well, what,
yeah.
what is this?
Yeah. Like, where's my muscles? Like, why are they popping? So I don't know if that answers that question, but
yeah, for sure. I guess where I'm leading with this is like, you know, you've been on a fitness journey. So you're a personal trainer and this is what you do. This is what you're about. This is your life now. You know, how long ago would you say that you like took your first step on that journey?
Yeah. For me, I feel like I've worked through like a lot of different phases in my life. So like the first phase of that would probably be like getting into sports and being introduced to like weightlifting. And then out of that is kind of, you know, you leave high school, you leave your segmented training time and you're not lifting for your sport anymore. So it was like, well, then it was just like more bodybuilder focused, like hitting Gold's Gym and like lifting with your bros. And it was, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of strategy to it other than you're just like, I want to get big.
Chest
like,
day, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Like honestly, avoided leg day at all costs. Like did not want any part of it.
Damn.
So it's been a long time. Like it's been a journey. So, you know, and there was that window of time where it was like, you're going to the gym in the summers, you're going hard because you're home. And then you're maybe kind of hitting the gym I went to college at Grand Canyon, so they have like a bunch of gyms on campus, and it was like maybe 1 or 2 sessions a week, just kind of like your bro lifts, right? Like your bench press and your biceps and all that stuff. And then Yeah, it's just really ebb and flowed. Like when I got married too, I really just fell off. Like that first year of marriage, like I just was like,
this is what you get, baby.
Invested, dude. Well, I just think like I don't know, maybe you've had these seasons where it was just like I felt like I could coast. I felt like I had, if I wanted to, I could turn it on anytime I want kind of mentality.
Yeah, you have that feeling. If I wanted to, I could.
And it's like, oh, this isn't that bad. This isn't that bad. This isn't that bad. And pretty soon you're like, no, this is not good.
This is
like,
bad.
Yeah.
I've dug a hole here.
Yeah. So yeah. And then it was like, okay, now I've got to like get this weight off. And my wife and I started going to this group fitness gym, and it was literally just a lot of HIIT training, cardio, calorie deficits, like, cause their whole thing is like, we want to get people's transformations on the wall type spot, you know?
Yeah.
So not to go like elaborate too much, but I've just ebbed and flowed through these different phases, and I think I wasted a lot of time in getting to where I'm at now. Like I could have started a lot earlier with some simple tactics and just prioritize those things, and would have not wasted so much time. So yeah,
for sure. I think that's I think that would be a really cool, just learning experience for you to reflect on, and just for us to go through. Like,
absolutely.
What are some of the things that you did on your fitness journey? Like looking back now, what are some things that you would do differently that could put you in a better position now? Like, what have you learned throughout the time that you've been in this space and working on your own health and fitness? And what do you like look back and like cringe at? Like, oh, that was either like dangerous, like I was gonna hurt myself, or like I just wasn't making the progress that I could have been making because I wasn't, dialed in certain ways.
I think the biggest thing I've always struggled with is more nutrition than anything. I've always kind of I've ridden that line up until this point of just trying to get away with as much as I possibly can without like fully just collapsing into that dark hole that is eating terribly. So I've got
the dark hole.
You know what I mean? Like you can step off that cliff and it's like, or you could be like, well, this is like kind of healthy. Like I feel like I rode that line for a lot of my life. So, and in that it's like, well, you kind of get that mentality of like, I'm just going to go try to work off my poor decisions, or, oh, like me and my wife went out to eat. Like, I guess that just means I'm going to get up at 5 and go hit the gym and, try to just crush my soul. It was like a lot of that kind of stuff.
Like almost like guilt, like you like feel like you have to like make up for something that you did wrong.
Yeah, because I think there was this phase in my life, so just kind of being more descriptive, like my first year of marriage, like again, kind of hit that moment in my life where I was like staying up super late. We didn't have kids yet. I was drinking a little bit more often. I was kind of just leaning into cravings and eating what I wanted. And I had a group of buddies and we'd like religiously play video games every night. So didn't have to be at work till 9 a.m. the next morning. And it was like, I was just coasting, right? Just kind of autopilot. And that got me to a spot where I just had a wake up call moment. And I've shared this on one of our episodes before, but it was like, my wife and I went to sign up for insurance. So she's a nurse. So at the time she was working for a hospital, and we went to sign up for insurance, and it was like, you do the whole check where they prove like, are you worthy of receiving,
are you worthy,
the care from this specific insurance provider. So you have to do like an in-body, they get your weight, they get your body fat percentage, they maybe do like a skin fold test. And I was just like in the worst health that I'd ever been in. It was awful. And I just remember feeling so uncomfortable in my own skin. And so in that, kind of my like leap into health from that point to now was like, we started at a group fitness gym, and it was, like I said, it was high intensity. It was a lot of cardio. It was a lot of like, 60 seconds of doing a movement with a light weight as fast as you could, and then running around and doing laps and just jacking your heart rate up, just to get people to drop weight, which it works.
Yes, in the short term.
In the short term,
yeah.
And I lost the weight, but then I was stuck in that like skinny fat perpetual like maintenance mode, and so yeah, I just kind of like I wasted a lot of time in that spot. So. And then in that window, it was like I had the guilt from I didn't want to get back to where I was. You know what I mean? Kind of putting the bow on. I was like, where was I in my train of thought?
Yeah,
but, So like I would eat, poorly, and because I didn't want to end up back where had started this phase out of my life, I would just be like, okay, well now I need to go crush a workout because I need.
And you would go to that same gym and do
same
like a
gym,
HIIT cardio. Okay.
Do the HIIT cardio thing.
How long ago was that like jump off point that you
from now till then? You're saying?
Yeah. How long ago when you went to get insurance and you were like, oh shit, I'm fucked up. Like I need to do something about this. How long ago was that?
It was maybe like 9 years ago.
8 years ago? Oh,
yeah.
Dang. Nice.
Yeah.
So since then you've been pretty consistent with your fitness. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cause it was like that. And then we did that for a while. And then when my daughter was born, we started building our garage gym and it was like for personal use.
That's cool.
And so, yeah.
Okay. So that's your kind of first step on your journey is like, okay, I feel like shit. I need to do something about it.
Yeah.
You step into like a group fitness space and you're crushing yourself in the gym, but you haven't quite dialed in the other aspects of your life. Yeah. So like you were just saying, you would overeat or binge or have something unhealthy. And then as a result of that, you felt like you needed to go into the gym and crush another kind of HIIT style, high intensity workout, not high intensity, but high density workout. So what about that pattern is unproductive, or do you think held you back?
Yeah.
Like, why is that a mistake that you made, you think?
Well, I think it was treating food as like a luxury and not treating food as fuel. And so I think I wasted a lot of time like not eating in line with what my goals are. Like if my goal is to lean out, to get stronger, to build muscle, there's an appropriate way to structure your nutrition day in and day out to, fuel yourself so that you can get to where you want to be, like have a better trajectory. So I think the way that I was, consuming or thinking about nutrition, and it wasn't horrific. It was like, I'm going to go to Chipotle or Chick-fil-A or whatever else. And when I go there, I'm going to eat what I think is healthy. I think a lot of people do that, right? They're like, oh, like, well, it's got chicken on it. Or, I'm having a salad or I'm having chicken wings and it's protein, like that kind of mindset, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't horrible. It just wasn't clear. Like it wasn't constructive to like achieving something.
Makes sense.
So I think I just wasted a lot of time in that. Is like, even if the workouts didn't change, if maybe my fuel was a little bit different, would there be a different outcome? Yeah. So
So overall, early in your journey, it was like not having an understanding of how you should be eating.
Yeah.
Do you think it was more not having an understanding, or do you think it was not having the discipline or the desire to actually start to integrate better eating habits?
I think it's probably more the second. For sure. Yeah. Because at that point, I had already gone to college. I was getting my exercise science degree. I was in nutrition courses, and it's like, what you should be eating. It was more of a matter of like, I can get away with this. And if I do something, I have a solve to like counteract it. Or it was more just not wanting to assert action around doing the thing I knew I should be doing, kind of thing.
It's funny how we like get cocky. We're like,
so true.
It's like you give yourself an exception. Like, it's like you think because you know what you should be eating that you like can get away with not doing it. I don't know. It's interesting. Like, that happens. I mean, even I've personally, like, I've gone through waves of that too. Of like, I the knowledge is there, and I've done it before. So like, I know I can access that if I want to, but that like almost can give you like the permission to not do it in a sense.
For sure.
You can trick yourself into like thinking like, oh, I know this. I'm just not really embodying it right now.
Yeah. Our pastor will use this term of like, rationalizing is telling yourself rationalize. Like it is kind of that vibe of like, it's okay. Like just this once, you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing.
Yeah. That's I like what you said too about like eating the thing that is like kind of healthy. Like you think it's like maybe healthy, but you're finding reasons why it's okay, finding reasons why it's healthy. Cause I see that a lot too with people. It's like, they're like almost like looking for like a silver lining within their food. It's like they're eating something they know they shouldn't be eating, but they're like, well, but it has like 30 grams of protein. So it's pretty good.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's like, but is that what you're rationalizing? It's like choice that is less than optimal. Why don't you just like, you could either make the decision and say, okay, this is less than optimal, but I'm choosing this willingly, knowing that it's not the best thing, and maybe tomorrow I'll make a better choice, right? Because then you're exercising like free will, and you're acknowledging the fact that like, okay, I'm making this decision even though it's suboptimal.
Yeah.
Or you could make a better decision, but to like kind of like hang out in this middle ground where you're like kind of tricking yourself into thinking that you're making a good decision even though you're not. Like those are the kind of things that like disintegrate you and, you know, tie up your energy and then they don't lead to, you know, the results that you're looking for.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people resonate with this too, but then it's like even the social pressures of that, right? At this time in my life, like we didn't have kids, we were hanging out with friends a lot, you know, in the evenings, or when I was at work, it was like I wanted to socialize with my buddies, so you're going out to eat and you're like, yeah, let's hit In-N-Out. That's got protein in it, you know, I'll get the protein style burger or whatever. It's like, which is fine in moderation, but like if those are the decisions you're consciously making over and over and over, like moderation all of the time is not moderation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, so many of us do that, and so many of us, yeah, like we just think, oh, well, like you said that, like it's got 30 grams of protein. It's like, well, it's got 30 grams of fat too. So
and 30 grams of sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
there's just a way to like, you can still have those luxuries every now and then for sure. Like go have your chicken wings, go have your beer with your buddies. Like don't deprive yourself of like the enjoyment of life, but do it in a way where you're still like 80-90% of the time, like you want to get here. Great. Eat in a way that day in and day out is going to get you there.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I was lacking for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be in alignment with that.
Absolutely.
And if you do decide to have the beer, just
have the beer.
Just have the beer.
Yeah.
Like, this is cool. I'm having a beer.
Yeah.
It's not the best thing for me, but I'm making this decision because it's enjoyable, and tomorrow I'll make a different decision.
Yeah.
Like you said, as long as it's not a daily thing.
Absolutely.
But getting to the point where you're like ignoring the fact that you're having a beer every day, or like rationalizing it, that's where the issue comes in.
For sure.
Yeah, you have to be living in reality, right?
Yeah. So if I was going to give, you know, any advice related to like, you know, I've got a couple things that I would have implemented sooner. One of those things is definitely nutrition, just to like put the bow on it. It's like eating in a way that is supporting my training, that is supporting my recovery, that is acknowledging quality of food, and just doing that more consistently.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways you can do that, if you haven't, is also tracking record of it too. We've talked a lot about, you know, if it's tracking your macros or having a daily log of what you're consuming, but just being able to get eyes on what you're putting in your body, even if it's just for a short season, just so you can build some of those tangible skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the long term.
That's a big thing too, because we were just talking about like rationalizing some of the choices we make. And I find with clients so often, once we start digging into their nutrition, if I ask them, do you eat well? Or how often, how many times per week are you eating something that's not good for you, or you're eating out, or you're eating dessert, or eating something with sugar in it? And they almost always undershoot. Like when they're recalling it, they think that they eat so much better than they actually do. So people often think or believe that they consume a lot healthier food on a regular basis than they actually do. And when you start recording it and writing it down and looking at it, then you can start to, again, live in reality and see, oh, actually I'm eating out 7 meals a week, and I eat dessert 5 times this week. And yeah, I'm eating way more than I should be, or I'm not getting enough protein, and you can start to see what's actually happening.
Yes. Dude, that's such a great point, because I've had that conversation with a few people recently, you know, where you're like, you know, just simply asking like, hey, you know, what does your day of eating look like? And it's like, oh, I really don't even eat that much, actually. You know, I'll have, you know, some Greek yogurt here, and then I'm not really hungry, and then I'll have like, you know, this over here. It's like, well, you wouldn't be gaining as much weight as you had, like, just to be blunt about it, if that's all you were having, because you don't gain weight off of eating 900 calories a day. Like,
yeah,
you gain body fat off of consuming often. So then it's like, oh, well, you know, then they'll share a story. Oh, well, I had like steak and we were going out night after night and drinking, and this, like, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know what I mean?
There
and
we go. We found it.
Yeah. So the undercutting nutrition is a really common occurrence. Yeah.
Give us a couple like just like take home tips for nutrition. Like if someone's in the shoes that you were in, like they just kind of started their fitness journey a little bit ago, they're maybe doing like a group class and they're just getting going. They don't really know how to dial in their nutrition. They're trying to eat healthy, but they don't really know what that looks like. Like what are some things that you learned that you put into action, you know, over the last 8 years that have gotten you to where you are now?
For sure. Yeah. Quality of food. One of the things I've used this term often is like protein and produce. So eating the majority of your food at home will like always like pay you better results than if you're just trying to like play guesswork out of the house. So when you go to the store, it's like protein and produce, and every single meal on your plate, protein and produce. That's like one of the easier ways that you can think about it. But and then at the core, like every meal needs to be structured around your protein. So like, and I think for a lot of people, that's like flipping things on the head, right? Like even if you're making something as simple as like pasta, like separate the protein from the pasta because we want to prioritize the protein. And then if you want to add a little bit of this as the extra, chances are, like, if you're doing that consistently, you're going to, one, get all the nutrients you need in each meal, and two, you're going to consume less of the stuff that you don't necessarily need. So, like, all the fats and the carbs. Not that those things are the enemy, but you're just going to eat a little bit less than you would if you were just, you know, it's like when you sit down at a restaurant and they hand you the thing of bread and you're starving. Like, you're going to crush the bread.
With butter? Is there warm butter?
Yeah. Texas Roadhouse, maybe. Come on now. So that's like one thing I would encourage. And then just simplifying your food. Like not every meal you sit down to have has to be romanticized and doesn't have to be this elaborate recipe. Like most of my meals are a protein. So if that's like a beef, chicken, fish, eggs, and then some form of like carbohydrate on the side. And then if I want to add in like a fat, like some avocados, or maybe my meat has fat in it and I'm just going to, you know, but simplify your meals, like ground beef and rice, or some chicken and some fruit, or some eggs and, you know, some sourdough toast, or like just simplify your foods. It doesn't have to be this big charcuterie board every time you sit down to eat food. So those are some practical applications. Yeah.
Love it. Protein and produce. That's huge.
Yep.
Less ingredients.
Absolutely.
And stay away from processed food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah. And you don't have to like, you know, I think a lot of people think I have to eat healthy and they're like, oh, I just have to eat like chicken and broccoli every day. And it's like, no, like your food can taste good. And I bet you I could make chicken and broccoli like 7 different ways that's going to have a good flavor to it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Chicken and broccoli.
So it's like, it's kind of that like, just because you have to implement discipline doesn't mean you have to give up freedoms and everything has to be miserable. You know what I'm saying? So like, yes, eat healthy, but like, don't make it taste like shit. Like I still, you know, like at the very core, dude, it's like when I eat ground beef, like I'm seasoning that shit up. I'll probably cook it in a little bit of beef tallow or olive oil, or I'm going to make some burgers or a steak on the grill and it's flame broiled and it's been prepped with like the seasoning that I want on it. Like it tastes good. Just because I'm eating healthy doesn't mean I'm eating dog food every day. Like I just want to encourage people in that, is like, just because you're going to eat, more nutritiously doesn't mean you're going to lose the freedom of like enjoying your meals. Right. Like
yeah, I agree.
That's a pretty blunt way of saying that. I recognize that.
No, I love it.
But
I love it. No, actually, I tell my clients to only eat cold chicken breast.
Hell yeah. You actually just like packaged tuna. That's like, you know what I'm talking about?
Like the pre-cut cooked chicken breast that like comes in the plastic package from Costco.
Yep.
That's all I tell my clients to eat. Yeah.
If you eat that, which if you only ate that, you would get shredded, but like
you'd be not
you
healthy.
would be miserable. Yeah. Mentally, you would be unhealthy even. Like
Yeah. No, the worse your food tastes, the less you eat. So I tell my clients to just only eat shitty food. Make sure it just tastes disgusting.
It's so good. Well, and legit, like jokes aside, like there's something to be said about like if you have like an issue consuming protein, if you flavor it and put more salt on it and things like that, like you're going to consume more protein, and then that's like a plus.
Yeah, absolutely. So I almost never eat chicken breast. I hate it.
I hate it too. Yeah, chicken thigh all day long. If I had to select chicken, it's going to be chicken thigh.
Chicken thighs, steak, fatty ground beef,
Yeah.
fish. Yeah.
Nutrient dense
Yes.
foods. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to eat super low fat either to get
No.
lean or be healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just like it's portion sizing at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that actually like really kick-started my fat loss phase in that time period, we did like a detox diet. It was like 21-day detox was kind of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the big kickstart for me. And then obviously continued to eat better, but it was literally just portion sizes. Like
Yeah.
at that point in my life, you know, I knew protein was important. I didn't know how important. I was just like, I want protein at each meal, but wasn't really measuring that out. But it was literally just like portion control. It was like plating my food with not like a ton of food, eating it, having a moment where after I ate that meal, I just sat and like processed it versus like popping up to the pantry or the fridge to like grab the next thing, and then just having a glass of water and being like, I'm good, stop.
Yeah.
Like that's all it was. And just doing that over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's genuinely listening to your body
Mm-hmm.
versus like just eating because it's habit or your mind
Totally.
wants it. Because you eat a decent sized meal
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, I feel satisfied.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm bloated and I don't feel like I'm hungry anymore.
Yes.
Wow. Perfect.
It's crazy.
But we just like we like eat for entertainment.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just throw a couple like small nutrition tips out there too. Is
Please.
one, eat more slowly.
Yeah.
That's big.
Huge.
Chew your food. And then pay attention to how you feel after you eat. I think that's a really big one because there's, with the amount of glyphosate in our food supply and the amount of stress that we're all under and how we're getting, you know, we're lacking on sleep and we're over consuming stimulants, a really common issue is gut permeability, meaning people have perforations or, you know, openings, tears in their gut lining. And when food particles get through the gut lining into the body, it causes immune system reactions, which causes inflammation and other, you know, all sorts of stuff downstream from that. Especially if it goes on long term, it can contribute to arthritis and all sorts of not good things for your health. Yeah. Like, you know, we're finding out more and more that it's the root of so many health issues that we run into later in life. So if you have gut permeability, the things that you eat the most often and the most commonly for you are the things that are going to start to have the most negative impact on you. So, yeah, I would just say pay attention. So if you eat a meal and you feel sluggish or tired or itchy or inflamed after the meal and you don't feel good, you feel foggy, brain fog, pay attention to that and just start to kind of focus in on like what foods are not making you feel good and just remove those foods from your diet for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Paying attention. So simple.
Yeah.
But very effective.
Yeah. And it's simple, but it's not easy. It's really not easy.
It's not.
But I love what you said about simplifying your meals, having less foods per meal, and that can help you start to dial in and figure out kind of what's going on too.
Yeah. Cause you're kind of like working backwards to kind of that elimination process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because my wife bought me this new, and I'm not putting it on her. It tastes good. She bought me this new protein powder. She went grocery shopping without me, and she was like, "Does this work?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think it's good." So I've been having that like the last couple weeks, and like you've probably heard the term like protein farts. Like that's like just to, like that's not a good thing.
What is that, dude?
Like that's like and to your point of like pay attention to how you feel. Like that's a pretty recognizable thing of like, yeah, I have a lot of gas and it's uncomfortable and it's, you know what I mean? Like, so something for me, it's like, okay, well, I know directly based on the little amount of food options that I choose. And now I introduce this new thing. If that's a response from my body, I probably shouldn't have that thing.
Yeah.
So
something's different.
Yeah.
This is not a normal thing.
Exactly. So
yeah, that's a great example. If you have a lot of gas or your farts, like you have like stinky ass farts, like that's not good. That's not a normal.
Something is dying in your body.
You're rotting from the inside, and that's not good.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So anything else, you know, we touched on nutrition, anything else for you looking back on your fitness journey that you would do differently or you do differently now that, you know,
Yeah, I think more just my plan of action with my training. Like I was talking about, like, you know, I got stuck in this season of life where I was just doing this like maintenance work of cardio, ground and pound, like workouts.
Mm-hmm.
And finally it clicked. I was like, I want to get stronger. Like, how do I get stronger? Because like we know like the root of all freedom metabolically is like if I can build more lean mass on my body, which comes from resistance training, lifting heavy weight, taking time to rest and recover and get good foundationally at the movements we're performing. Like shifting my training into that was a total game changer. I think so many people get caught in that F45, like not demonizing F45 or Orange Theory or these places. You know, I think there's people that can have, like I did, a lot of success being in a community spot, having a dedicated time to show up and train where someone's doing the thinking for them. Like there's a lot of benefits to those things, but what you'll find is if you're consistent about it, you're going to hit a wall where you're just like coasting. Like you're not going to get stronger. You probably go to pick up that heavier weight to like see if you can challenge yourself, but you're getting gassed out from, you know, your heart rate being a billion miles an hour. So for me, it was shifting into getting into more core, like big compound lifts, structuring my training around getting stronger. So I would encourage anybody, if like you're on that journey and you're kind of just starting out, like that's where I would spend my most of my effort and intention would be, and in that, like following a plan, like that's not just like randomized.
Yeah.
Cause even like my story too is like there was moments where I was going to the gym with my buddies and we were just bro lifting, which like that didn't really get us a whole lot further down the road either. So like having something that is structured, that is progressive overload, meaning, you know, week in and week out, you're doing similar movements, you're finding new ways to like scale them and make them more effective, and you're logging and tracking your progress through that. Like every week I can say, okay, maybe I was able to do this weight for 8 reps. This next week, I'm going to try that same weight for 10 reps and so on. And it's just a really easy way to log that. So yeah, that'd be big. And then we talk about all the time, dude, like recovery, like my story, and not to be so focused on like me personally here, but my story was like staying up late, you know, cortisol through the roof, super groggy during the day, not feeling motivated at work. Like, so I just was really neglecting recovery. Like I wasn't going to bed at a decent hour. Again, nutrition plays a role in our recovery as well. So emphasizing recovery, emphasizing sleep, emphasizing like just taking away distractions and like stressors, like not staring at your phone all the time and not playing video games all the time, and eliminating some of those stimuluses is big time. So
video games have got me in the past, bro.
Dude, I mean, I always joke, like I'm a pretty extroverted person. Like I kind of thrive off like being around people, but I also could go 10 days in a room by myself just playing video games and be totally fine.
Unfortunately, I could probably do that too, and they're so addictive.
So addictive.
I can't. Yeah, I've like drawn a line for myself. Like I haven't had like any sort of like gaming console in the last like 6 years, and for years before that, I didn't have one either, because it's like an issue for me. Like it's just so addictive. It's just so fun.
It's so fun, especially like if it's a social activity too. Like for me, it was playing with the boys, dude. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. Everybody just logs on at their house. Yeah. Grab a drink with your buddies, and you're just like
6 hours later, you're like, what happened?
One more game. One more game, and you're like, eyes are doing this.
Yeah. Like, no, we got one more. We got more dubs to get. Let's go.
Exactly. Or like recently, dude, I jumped back in because I was like, my kids are like old enough, like maybe I could show them how to like play some like really simple stuff. So I downloaded, like, this is so dorky, but I downloaded like the Lego games, like a couple of them. So I was like, oh, like they're super into Legos right now. I was like, this is fitting. Like they'll like this, which they're way too complex for my kids' age. Like these are probably more for like kids 9 and up. Yeah. Because it's just like such a puzzle to like figure out what to do next. But I got hooked playing it.
You're like, this is actually pretty tight.
Dude, it was. It was like Avengers Lego. It's an older game. And I was like, I'm hooked. Like,
I'm in.
and it was like, as far as like, I'd just be like, hey, Bennett, like, come sit next to me. Let's play this game. And he's like locked in. Like, he's not playing with me,
He's
but
just
like,
watching
he's
you.
just watching. So it was like, what? I don't have to entertain you.
We're
And I
kinda
can
hanging out.
We're kind of hanging out.
We're hanging out, right?
Not good parenting advice. And it's also, again, it's addicting. So
Yeah. I mean, if you can do it like, you know, again, like we talk about with food, with anything, like if you can actually do it in moderation, then all power to you. But like, honestly, for me, it's like, it's not even that fun to do in moderation. Video games are more fun if you're going to freaking binge it for like 6 hours, which I'm just not going to do anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the one thing for you? Like, well, we've talked a lot about my journey, but what's the, like, if you had to put, you know, a nail on the one thing that really just started to change the game for you with your fitness journey, what do you think that is?
I would say, yeah, there's so many things. I would say overall, like zooming out, the biggest impact would probably be doing less in general, just in life.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Elaborate on
that. I struggled for years with making progress in the gym and gaining weight and getting stronger because I was just burning the candle at both ends. You know, on a deeper level, like a more psychological or spiritual level, it came mostly, I think, from just like not saying no enough, like being afraid to like say no or like disappoint people or wanting to be liked, you know? So I was just doing too much. So like I was like going to school from like 7 to noon or 1 and then trying to squeeze my workout in and then working from like 3 to 8 and then I was competing like I was on like competitive like cheerleading team, like we did like we traveled all over the country and like did like competitive cheer, like gymnastics and you know that type of stuff. So my energy was just too spread out. I didn't have the time to sleep and rest as much as I needed. So yeah, I was just doing too much. I was like overdoing stimulants. I was just like living life on stimulants, not eating enough, you know, getting home at like midnight, eating a meal that late,
crashing
and
out.
then just like smoking a bunch of weed to try and fall asleep and then getting up at like 6 a.m. to go to school, you know? So sleeping like 5.5 hours a night, but poor sleep because I'm going to bed with a full stomach and just high on weed and
it's like
stimulated.
Not even like getting into REM at all.
Yeah, exactly. So like I did that for 2 or 3 years. And when I wasn't making progress in the gym, I didn't like step back. I was like, oh, I'm not doing enough.
Oh yeah.
And so I actually remember something that like put me over the edge a little bit is I was following this program from there was a powerlifter. His name was Chad Wesley Smith. I don't know if you remember him. He was pretty he was pretty big in the space like, I don't know, 8 years ago or so. He was really freaking strong. But he had a program called Juggernaut. And it was like 3 really heavy days per week. And I remember like looking at the program. This is how stupid I was. I looked at the program and it was like 3 heavy days per week. And I was like, this isn't enough.
I need more volume.
Yeah. So I took week 1 and week 2 and I just went 6 days straight.
Holy crap.
And like and I just did 6 days on and then 1 day off. But like the programs were like high volume days. So you're doing like, you know, like 6 to 8 sets of like heavy squats on a day and like 6 to 8 sets of like heavy presses. So you're like, it was a lot of volume. And obviously this guy's an experienced powerlifter.
Sure.
So he intentionally put this program together of like, okay, 3 heavy days per week and then like 1 accessory day. And I was like, oh, that's stupid. Like I could just do this every day and I'll just get jacked. And so I'm like, I get like 4 weeks.
We think we know better.
Yeah,
dude.
I get like 3 or 4 weeks into this program of like lifting heavy, like 6 days a week.
Your spine is broken.
And I'm like, I I just crashed. Like I remember this is probably a low for me. It was like I did like a heavy set of deadlifts that took everything I had, and then I literally laid down and like fell asleep for like 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. I like
that's like, do you talk about like your nervous system being fried? Like that's crazy.
I put the barbell down and like went like leaned up against the wall. I was like, man, that bar's got hands. And, and I literally fell asleep at the gym.
Sick.
And
did anybody come like, hey Jacob, like wake you up? Like
no, I just dozed off and like woke up and I was like, what? Like I need to.
Was this at Funk?
It was, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like, I was thinking like more public gym. Like
no, this is a smaller gym setting.
Yeah.
Like other people were working out, but I just like went and like.
And it's just the homies. I'm sure they're just like, oh, he's just doing his thing.
Meanwhile, I'm just dying.
Yeah.
Like literally dying inside.
So but that was the wake up call. And well, no pun intended.
Yeah. In a sense, yeah. I mean that I remember that like pushing to that.
Yeah.
Being like, okay, this like is not working.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I had to reel in a lot of things, but yeah, overall just like stepping away from like competitive athletics, taking on a little bit less work, prioritizing sleep, doing less in the gym, and allowing my body to heal.
Yeah.
Like I was in a really deep deficit and I had to take a lot of time to actually just let my body get back to baseline. But then that was a huge just learning moment for me of like, yeah, training intelligently and sleeping well. And again, not spreading your energy, like being willing to just say no to things.
Yeah.
And be okay with that.
It got you more effective results in the long term.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like you have a finite amount of energy.
Absolutely.
Right? So if I spread it to 10 different things, I'm going to be 10% in each of those. Whereas it's like, okay, I really want to get stronger. I really want to make leaps and bounds in my fitness. I need to give more energy to that and say no to other things.
Yeah.
You can't do it all.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was that was a lesson learned.
Absolutely.
And
but
yeah.
sometimes we gotta fall on our face to recognize like what it's doing to us.
Yeah.
And you have that kind of, you know, not so much rock bottom moment, but you have that realization of like, you know, the kick in the tail to be like, okay, this could be different. Like, let's figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I'm an idiot. I just need to be like I need life to just like freaking smack me upside the head.
Sure.
Like,
dude, like,
hey, man.
like even just us dudes are like stubborn by nature to be like, you know, I got this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just learning that like you don't need to crush the gym every day.
Yeah.
You know, like 4 or 5 days a week.
Yep.
Getting a couple hard sets in where you're pushing yourself and making sure you're not like pushing beyond good technique, and giving yourself adequate sleep, and like your body will respond. Your body wants to adapt to the stimulus. You don't need to freaking destroy yourself.
Yeah, it's funny. I have an online client. He's my longest standing member. This dude is awesome. I mean, he's crushed like 500 workouts on my program.
Oh, nice.
Like, and that's one of the biggest realizations for him is like before he started with me, he was kind of where I was at, is like that kind of skinny fat stage, and he was trying to go to the gym like 6-7 days a week, and he was just doing what he thought he knew, and it even took him till probably the halfway point of even following my program, like, you know, 200-300 days in, to be like, okay, maybe I do just need to like trust the process, do less. Started on like a reverse diet and like, you know, eating more food, but like better food, and fueling his training and backing off like all the cardio he was doing. And he like way leaned out, got stronger. And we were having this conversation because he's got a group of buddies who like, they do this like men's thing every week where it's just like super high intensity and they're just going balls to the wall. And he's like, you know, I try to like tell these guys like about your program and the success I've seen. He's like, they just don't want to like buy it. They don't believe like the fact that I'm doing less is getting better results. Like they, you know, they're so stuck on that thing. So
yeah,
I just told him, I was like, dude, like we'll just get super shredded and we'll just say like, hey, like it worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like be the the example of
Yeah.
representing how this process is. Yeah, this actually works. Like
Yeah.
4 training days a week, full body focus, like, or, you know, like that dude's program is a good example too. It's like 3 intentional heavy days, 1 accessory day. Like you're talking about like an elite strongman powerlifting competitor. Like that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it works for him. Like, so yeah, so many people get caught in that cycle. I was there myself of just, I've just got to crush my soul. And that's the only way to do more, do more, do more.
Yeah. And so much of it was like centered around almost like almost like trying to prove to myself that I was like tough enough
for sure.
Or, you know, like, just the wrong mentality, you know, and I think a lot of people get into the gym and get into fitness, you know, for the wrong reasons from the jump anyways. You know, like for me, it was insecurity. It was not liking my body, not liking the way I looked, wanting to, you know, impress people or like, just, you know, building that like outer kind of resilience to like protect the inner like insecurity, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think women obviously deal with that too of like not feeling good about themselves if they don't look like, you know, the models they see on Instagram or, you know, in movies or whatever. And same thing with guys, you know, like you watch movies or, you know, you look on Instagram and everywhere you look, you're going to see like jacked, shredded dudes.
Yeah.
And we feel like that's like the standard. And if you're not there, then you're less than, right? And it's that I think that is, you know, the bigger lesson to learn is doing it for your body, doing it for your health, doing it to serve you, and allowing that to be the driving force and allowing that to happen and unfold over time in a healthy way versus trying to freaking crush yourself for, you know, punish yourself or prove something that doesn't need to be there. Yeah,
the comparison game is so real. Like, and like you said, it's just being shoved down your throat. Like, I was specific to like the training realm, but this one dude I follow was just like, the only thing that matters in social media anymore is just like how you look. Like, you don't have to have knowledge. You don't have to have credibility. You don't have to have proof of your body of work. It's just like, if you look shredded, it's just like, that's all that matters. And that's what we get stuck on is like, we just think that, okay, well, I guess I got to do that. And we just start playing this comparison game that's just so nasty. And like, one of the best things that ever happened to me with my training was just taking it away from the me comparing myself to everybody else to me comparing myself to myself. Like, where was I at 6 months ago? Like, I just PR'd from that, and now it's giving me more passion and drive to keep progressing. Yeah. So it's you versus you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And as a coach, you know, it's 99% of fitness is not getting down to 7% body fat and squatting 400 pounds. 99% of fitness is like, you know, today I had this thought today. I was working with one of my clients. She's a 70-year-old woman who's overweight, has a hip issue, has a knee issue, has scarring on her lungs from COVID 5 years ago. Wow. So she has a breathing issue. And it's like, if you could watch our session, you know, like, it's so far from anything that you would even consider fitness related. But it's she's making progress, doing very small, simple things, working on her breathing, working on simple mobility stuff, carrying kettlebells, like just learning how to like reach overhead. You know, she's making a lot of progress and feeling so much better. But if from an outside perspective, someone just watched that session, they'd be like,
what are you doing?
I have no idea what you're even doing. Like, is this even fitness? Is this a workout? What is this? You know, it's not just the sexy Instagram, you know, getting shredded and squatting
and
heavy.
That's like the hard thing even too, like being a trainer in that realm is like, you feel like you got to like sell your soul in a way to like reach more people because the things that work, like that we've just shared for an hour on this episode, they're not glamorous. Yeah. But they work. And like every single person who's gotten, even if you see the most shredded dude, like maybe there's been some enhancement to get there, but like they still had to prioritize nutrition. They still had to prioritize recovery. They trained really hard and effectively, and they moved their body enough to burn enough calories throughout the day, and you know, all that stuff. Like the basics don't change. Yeah, it's just not sexy. It's just it's generic work done consistently over time. and also done with action. I was actually having this conversation with one of my clients where he was actually giving it was cool because he was giving a presentation he's like a manager at his company, to his team members, and they're more talking about specifically like the workforce, but he was talking about like, you know, confidence is built on intaking knowledge and having understanding, but then in order to improve, we have to take that knowledge and understanding and implement action. And that's like one of the biggest things with fitness is like, you know, for lack of better terms, like I hate saying this, but like you could be an information whore where you're just like taking it in and consuming. But at some point it's going to give you so much anxiousness about where to begin that you're not even going to get started in the first place. You know what I mean? So like start somewhere. I think one of the best things I learned about my story is like, would a group fitness place, you know, that's purely driven off of body transformations be the best place to go for me in hindsight? Like maybe not, but like that's the thing that got me from 200 pounds and 27% body fat to dropping 25 pounds and getting to a better, you know, what I like to call like a valley to then build out of. So it's not the perfect plan, but it just takes action. So,
and it served you at the time.
So, yeah, exactly.
And that's the other thing, you know, this episode we talked about things that we would do differently looking back on our fitness journey, but ultimately we can't do anything differently.
No, yeah.
And ultimately all those things that we did wrong, we had to do those things wrong in order to learn the lessons to get where we are now.
For sure.
So, you know, again, you're going to make mistakes, but action is the most important thing.
Yes.
And then paying attention to what's working.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like, I don't have anything more to add to that. That's like a perfect little ending there.
Boom.
Sick, man.
All right, brother.
Cool.